You are currently existing within a specific timeline right now, but it's far from being the only one available to you. Surrounding you at this very moment are endless versions of reality, each one vibrating just slightly beyond your conscious awareness, all of them waiting to be observed and brought into physical form. Still, most people stay stuck in repetitive loops, making the same choices over and over, encountering the same outcomes again and again, facing the same frustrations repeatedly, all while deeply yearning for something more, something different, something better. Let's break down a myth that keeps you trapped. You're not stuck because of fate, karma, or simple bad luck. You're caught in a pattern because your entire system, your thoughts, your emotions, your physiology, and your energy field is still completely calibrated to an outdated version of reality that no longer serves who you're becoming. You can't just wish your way out of this pattern. You can't muscle your way free through sheer willpower alone. And you certainly can't outsmart the quantum field by pretending to be someone you're not. A genuine quantum shift isn't about trying harder to manifest what you want. It's about stepping into a radically aligned state of being, one that is so congruent with your desires, so harmonized with your true frequency, that the field literally has no choice but to reflect a completely new reality back to you. Let me clarify something important here. Most people associate manifestation with desire, with wanting something intensely enough that it somehow just materializes in their lives. But here's the truth that seldom gets discussed openly. Desire alone is actually powerless in the quantum realm. The field isn't influenced or impressed by how much you crave something or how desperately you want it. It responds purely to your resonance with that thing, your vibrational compatibility with the reality you're trying to create. This means that even if you're affirming daily, creating beautiful vision boards, and visualizing diligently every single morning, you might still be unconsciously reinforcing your current timeline instead of shifting to a new one. Why does this happen? Because beneath your surface intentions and conscious desires, your physical body may still be clinging tightly to what feels familiar and safe. Your nervous system might be cycling through deeply ingrained emotional responses that keep you locked in the old pattern. Your subconscious mind might still be continuously sending out frequencies of fear, hesitation, doubt, or scarcity, even while your conscious mind is literally screaming, I want prosperity. I want genuine connection. I want real breakthroughs. And here's the part that might bend your mind a little. The quantum field doesn't react to volume or how loudly you're declaring your desires. It reacts to dominance, to what's most consistent. The leading signal in your energy field isn't what's most vocal or what you talk about the most. It's what's most consistent throughout your entire being, your whole system. That includes how you actually think when nobody's watching, how you genuinely feel in your quiet moments, what you truly anticipate will happen, and how you energetically present yourself to the world around you. That's exactly why repeating affirmations like, I am wealthy over and over does absolutely nothing if your body physically tightens in dread or anxiety when facing actual financial decisions. That's why visualizing romantic connection feels ineffective and empty if your heart remains guarded and protected behind walls. The quantum field detects the contradiction immediately. It reads the tension underneath, not just the intention on the surface. This is the frustrating loop so many people remain stuck in without understanding why. They assume change has to begin with outside circumstances shifting first, with new outcomes appearing, new steps being taken, new strategies being implemented. But the real transformation, the genuine quantum shift, always starts within you. It begins with your inner atmosphere, your energetic coherence, and the specific version of yourself you consciously choose to embody right now. You must shift into the identity of the person who already lives the life you desire. Not next week when things are better, not when conditions improve. Right now, in this present moment. And here's where it gets truly extraordinary and exciting. Quantum theory reveals something profound. Every possible outcome you can imagine already exists within an infinite sea of potentiality. Every reality you dream of, every version of you that could exist, every path you could possibly walk, they're all already vibrating in the quantum field, fully accessible the moment you genuinely align with them. When you raise your frequency and shift your vibration, You're not generating something from absolute nothing. You're not creating from scratch. You're stepping into a version of yourself that has always been available, just patiently waiting for your alignment, for your recognition, for your permission to become real. That's why mystics, scientists, and visionaries throughout human history have consistently pointed to the profound influence of energy, numerology, and sacred geometry in how reality actually operates. Nikola Tesla famously said something that still echoes through time. If you only understood the brilliance of 3, 6, and 9, you would unlock the secrets of the universe. These aren't just superstitions or random tricks people made up. They reflect deeper universal principles that demonstrate how reality arranges itself around specific vibrational laws and frequencies. So the real question you should be asking isn't, how do I achieve my desires, or what technique should I use? The actual question is, who must I become energetically to be in complete harmony with the timeline where those desires are already fulfilled and living? And this process of becoming isn't about pretending to be someone you're not or forcing yourself into a fake role. It's not about acting out a performance for the universe. Becoming is a complete embodied transformation, a soul deep calibration into perfect harmony with your desired reality. This is where quantum transformation genuinely begins for you. You're not here to wrestle with the past or fight against what was. You're here to elevate into the signal of your new path, your new frequency. But before we go further into this journey, take a real moment to reflect honestly. Who has actually been behind your decisions today? Which version of yourself has been steering your energy, your thoughts, and your focus throughout the day? And most crucially, are you truly ready to release that outdated version so something more aligned can finally step in and take the lead? In the comments below, drop one word, just a single word that represents the old habit or pattern you're ready to break right now. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's lack, maybe it's silence, maybe it's doubt. Whatever it is for you, call it out clearly. Not for me, but for you, for your own clarity. Because naming the old habit is genuinely the first step in dissolving it and letting it go for good. Your word matters, your awareness matters, because you matter. Sit quietly with this question for a moment. Breathe deeply into any tension you feel. Notice where this lands inside you, where it touches something real. Because next, we're peeling back the curtain on the unseen architecture that keeps you stuck in repetitive cycles, the resistance you don't even know you're carrying, the subconscious programming running in the background, and the emotional patterns that quietly sabotage your evolution without you realizing it. This is the hidden layer that so many teachings completely overlook. It's the reason why people can grasp the concept of quantum manifestation intellectually, understand it perfectly in their minds, but rarely ever experience actual change in their physical reality. Are you willing to uncover it? Are you ready to see what's really been running the show? Let's start here with brutal honesty. Most people don't remain stagnant in their lives because they're unmotivated or lazy. It's not that they lack desire or willpower to change. And it's certainly not because they're manifesting incorrectly or using the wrong techniques. The real reason people stay in exactly the same place year after year is because they are still energetically tied to the self that was specifically built to endure and survive the old reality. That old identity may no longer serve their vision or dreams, but it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's known. And the subconscious mind deeply prefers the known to the unknown, even when the known actually hurts, even when it's limiting and painful. The old timeline doesn't require your conscious permission to keep repeating itself over and over. It only needs your continued involvement and participation. Every single time you respond out of habit instead of conscious choice, replay an old limiting belief without questioning it, or anticipate the same disappointment you've always experienced, you actively reinforce the pattern. Like a deeply carved trail worn into the landscape of your mind, repetition strengthens its grip on you. Eventually, the pattern starts to run itself automatically. You're no longer consciously choosing your reality. The pattern is choosing for you, operating you like a program. And here's where quantum physics and neuroscience beautifully converge and support each other. In quantum theory, the observer effect clearly reveals that attention collapses potential into specific outcomes. A possibility transforms into a reality through focused observation and attention. But here's the twist that most people completely miss and don't understand. You're not merely witnessing reality through your eyes like a neutral camera. You're actively filtering everything through your belief systems, your emotional landscape, your past experiences, and your future expectations. Now, bring in the powerful lens of neuroscience to complete the picture. Nearly 95% of your daily behaviors, thoughts, and reactions are governed by the subconscious mind, that vast reservoir of your past experiences, emotional imprints, core beliefs, and identity structures you've built over time. This means that in most cases throughout your day, it's not your conscious desire or intention that's actually shaping your outcomes and experiences. It's the subconscious programming quietly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Let that profound truth really sink in deeply. You're attempting to create change and transformation from the 5% of your mind that is awake and consciously aware, while the remaining 95% remains completely stuck in loops of fear, limitation, distrust, and survival instincts. And the quantum field, remember, it tunes into the strongest signal in your system, the dominant vibration you're broadcasting. So when someone says manifestation isn't working for me, or I've tried everything, what they're really saying without knowing it is, I haven't yet recalibrated the inner observer that's generating and creating my current experience. This is the absolute core of why we repeat the same cycles endlessly. You can move to a brand new city, switch to a completely different career, find a new romantic partner, and still find yourself caught in familiar emotional patterns that feel exactly like your old life. Why does this keep happening? Because external changes alone don't override an internal broadcast signal that hasn't fundamentally shifted. To put it plainly and simply, the timeline can't evolve and transform unless the observer, unless you, evolves with it first. So what's really keeping you tethered to your old path and stuck in place? 9 times out of 10, it's resistance in various forms. And resistance wears many different masks that disguise it. It shows up as overthinking and analyzing everything to death, avoidance of what you need to face, emotional numbness and disconnection, compulsive busyness that keeps you distracted, fear disguised as logic, and being realistic, and that subtle voice inside saying, be practical, don't get your hopes up. That's not possible for you. But here's what resistance actually is at its core. It's your system's way of protecting the familiar version of you, even if that version is suffering. Resistance isn't your enemy trying to sabotage you. It's a deeply misguided protector trying to keep you safe from the unknown. When you begin to shift timelines and step into a new frequency, your body and subconscious interpret it as a threat to your survival because it's unfamiliar territory. The alarm bells start ringing. Your nervous system triggers a stress response, and unless you consciously work with this resistance instead of fighting against it, you'll snap back to the old pattern like a rubber band every single time. So, what's the way forward out of this trap? The answer lies in becoming so aware of your patterns that they lose their automatic power over you. When you can witness yourself slipping into old behaviors without judgment, without making yourself wrong, you create space. And in that space, you can make a new choice. This is where real freedom lives. Not in never having the old pattern show up, but in catching it quickly and choosing differently anyway. Now let's talk about something that might sound strange at first but is absolutely crucial. Your past isn't just a memory stored somewhere in your brain. It's actually a frequency that your body is still broadcasting into the present moment. Every unprocessed emotion, every unhealed wound, every limiting belief you absorbed, they're all still vibrating in your field right now. And the quantum field, being completely neutral and responsive, keeps reflecting that frequency back to you as your current reality. This is why people say the past keeps repeating itself. It's not that the same events literally happen again. It's that the same frequency keeps attracting similar experiences and circumstances. Your nervous system has essentially become addicted to certain emotional states and patterns. Even if those states feel terrible, they're familiar, and your nervous system mistakes familiarity for safety. This is why someone who grew up in chaos might unconsciously create chaos in their adult life. Not because they want it consciously, but because their nervous system is wired for it, comfortable with it, knows how to operate in it. It's their baseline normal. Breaking free requires you to become comfortable with a new baseline, a new normal. And that process, while simple in concept, requires patience and consistent practice because you're literally rewiring your nervous system and retraining your body to feel safe in a different frequency. Before we move into how to actually do this rewiring, I want to invite you into something meaningful. If you've been feeling like pieces are clicking together, if part of you is recognizing truth in what's being shared here, tap that like button to let the energy know you're receiving this. Because like attracts like, energy responds to energy, and hit subscribe to stay connected. So how do you actually shift from manifesting from desire to manifesting from embodiment? This is where most teachings stop, but this is where the real work actually begins. Embodiment means you become the version of you who already has what you want. Not in your imagination during a 5-minute visualization session, but in your actual lived experience throughout your day. This is about closing the gap between who you are when you're consciously practicing and who you are when you're just living your regular life. When there's no gap, when you're the same frequency all the time, that's when the quantum field locks onto your signal and reality begins to shift rapidly. Let me give you some practical examples of what embodiment actually looks like in action. If you're shifting toward abundance and wealth, embodiment might mean feeling genuine gratitude for the money you have right now instead of constantly focusing on lack. It might mean making financial decisions from overflow instead of scarcity. It might mean being generous in small ways that signal to your system, I have more than enough. These aren't tricks to fool the universe. They're ways of training your nervous system to feel safe in the frequency of abundance, so your body stops sabotaging your conscious desires. If you're shifting toward love and deep connection, embodiment might mean opening your heart just a little more, even when vulnerability feels scary and uncomfortable. It might mean speaking with kindness to yourself first before expecting it from others. It might mean letting people in instead of keeping walls up for protection. Again, these aren't performances. They're genuine shifts in how you're being that change what frequency you're broadcasting. If you're shifting toward vitality and health, embodiment might mean tuning into small pulses of wellness and energy already present in your body instead of focusing only on what's wrong. It might mean choosing nourishment, movement, and rest from a place of care and love rather than punishment and control. It might mean replacing harsh inner commentary about your body with words of genuine encouragement and appreciation. These small acts are like energetic passwords you're typing in. They broadcast to the field. This is who I am now. Not eventually. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. Here's what so many people overlook and miss entirely. The point of these practices isn't perfection. It's return. You're going to falter and slip up. You'll fall back into old patterns and familiar reactions. You'll find yourself responding as the outdated version of you. That's not failure. That's the human experience. That's completely normal and expected. What actually matters is how quickly you notice and find your way back to alignment. Every single time you slip and gently return to your chosen frequency without beating yourself up, you reinforce the new pattern. Every moment you pause, take a breath, and consciously realign with who you're choosing to be, you're building the new timeline brick by brick. Every time you behave as though the new version of reality is already true, even when the outside world hasn't caught up yet, you collapse quantum potential into physical form. This is what quantum embodiment looks like in actual motion, in real life. Let's talk about tools and techniques for a moment. For some people, practices like intentional breathing, focused visualization, or meditation help recalibrate their system effectively. For others, working with resonance through sacred geometry, numerical sequences like 3, 6, 9, or 7, 7, 7, or healing sound frequencies creates a deeper attunement to their desired frequency. These aren't shortcuts or gimmicks or magic tricks. They're signal boosters for your system. They help your subconscious mind align more easily with your desired field and frequency. But keep this important truth in mind. Tools aren't substitutes for your own participation and commitment. No symbol, sound, or technique can shift your life unless you actually show up and do the inner work. The ritual only works because you work. The practice only creates results because you're engaged with it. Drop a comment below telling me what's one thing you truly want to manifest right now, the thing that matters most to you. Maybe it's financial freedom, maybe it's a loving relationship, maybe it's health and vitality, maybe it's something completely unique to your soul's path. Let this be a small but profound declaration, a clear signal you're sending to the universe, not just in this comment section, but into the quantum field itself. Be honest, be real, be you. And with that understanding, here's your practical invitation for today. Pick one pattern from your old timeline that you're genuinely ready to break and release. Then choose one small intentional action that reflects the reality you want to step into instead. Practice that action today with real mindfulness, with complete honesty, with an open heart. It could be as simple as taking 3 conscious breaths before responding to something triggering. It could be speaking a sentence from the empowered version of you rather than the fearful one. Or maybe it's just sitting quietly for 5 minutes, eyes closed, envisioning yourself fully immersed in the energy of your chosen future as if it's already happening. It's not about the size of the act or how impressive it looks. It's about the presence and intention behind it. And here's the beautiful truth about how this works. The quantum field doesn't operate on delay or time lag. It responds in the moment, instantly. As you engage this practice with genuine commitment, know this deep in your bones. You are not doing it alone. You are part of a rising collective consciousness, a growing movement of souls remembering their innate creative power, reconnecting with the flow of universal energy, and learning to co-create consciously with the quantum field. And this space right here is designed to support that evolution every step of the way. So before we move into the final segment of this transformative journey, the part where we learn how to sustain the shift long term and truly inhabit the new timeline permanently, I invite you one more time. If something has genuinely awakened in you, if you felt a click or shift inside while watching this, subscribe and stay connected. Stay curious about what's possible. Stay committed to your transformation. Your journey matters. Now, we arrive at the final phase of this transformation process. You've explored the science behind quantum mechanics, the energetics of frequency, the power of the subconscious mind, and the practice of embodiment. But here's where it becomes truly real and lasting, learning how to stay there consistently. Because the quantum field isn't impressed by a temporary visit to your new timeline. It molds itself around the version of you who chooses to live there, who makes it home. Most people treat manifestation as a one-time event, something you do and then it's done. They visualize once, they affirm for a few days, they write their intentions down, then they just wait passively for results. And when the external results don't come fast enough, when the physical evidence doesn't show up on their timeline, they fall back into old frequencies, not realizing that the real power is in the staying, in the consistency. Sustainability is the true secret behind quantum shift. Let's make one thing absolutely clear here. This isn't about forcing positivity or fake happiness. It's not about spiritual bypassing, where you ignore difficulty or pretend everything's fine when it's not. It's not about faking high vibe energy. It's about developing the genuine resilience to recalibrate over and over again, no matter what's happening externally. Every time you drift away from your frequency and consciously return, you strengthen your signal. Every moment you notice an old habit re-emerge and consciously choose differently anyway, you solidify the shift. Every breath, choice, action, and word that reflects your desired state makes the old version lose its grip on you. This is not punishment or hard work. This is mastery. This is you becoming the signal that shapes your life. Not sometimes, not only when it's easy or convenient, but as your ongoing natural state of being. Here's a practical framework to help you anchor this. Step 1. Begin with awareness. Each day, don't start with tasks and to-do lists. Start with tuning into yourself. Ask honestly, what energy am I bringing into this day? Is it rooted in fear or trust? In resistance or flow? In doubt or certainty? Set the energetic tone intentionally before your feet hit the floor. Don't begin your day by checking your phone or diving into responsibilities. Begin with a tuning into your frequency. Ask yourself clearly, what frequency am I aligned with as I step into this day? Is it rooted in fear or anchored in trust? Am I anticipating resistance or ease? Am I expecting problems or possibilities? Set this energetic tone consciously before anything else happens. Next, make embodied choices throughout your day. Practice subtle alignment consistently. Notice where your behaviors reflect the reality you want and where they don't match up. If you're calling in abundance, do your actions reflect generosity or lack? If you desire love, are you meeting the world with openness or defense? If you're cultivating well-being, are you honoring or ignoring what your body needs? It's not the occasional big dramatic moves that matter most. It's the small, consistent ones that realign your. Third, practice emotional attunement. You're going to get activated and triggered. Doubt will arise. Fear will show up. This is part of the process, not a sign you're doing it wrong. The power lies in returning quickly, not in avoiding difficulty. Pause when you notice yourself spiraling. Breathe deeply. Reconnect with the self who already lives from this new identity. Let that version guide your next move instead of your triggered reaction. Fourth, use sacred reminders in your environment. Keep your physical space filled with symbols that resonate with your frequency. Repeating numbers like 1, 1, 1, or 3, 3, 3, or 5, 5, 5, meaningful phrases that ground you, visual anchors that remind you of your vision, whatever keeps you in coherence and alignment. Surround yourself with voices, communities, content, and people that reflect the energy of your chosen timeline. Let your surroundings uplift you, not distract or drain you. And finally, amplify everything through gratitude. Gratitude is the energetic frequency of already receiving. It tells the quantum field, I am in alignment. I am ready. I am complete. The more you live from that vibration of genuine appreciation, the more quickly reality bends to meet it and match it. Here's what's essential to remember. You're not doing this to arrive somewhere else in the future. You're doing this because you recognize this is it. This is the moment. You're not chasing the shift anymore. You are becoming it. You are it. Thank you for walking this path with me today. You are not the same version of yourself that started this video. Something has shifted in you. A new resonance, a deeper insight, a living spark of potential has been activated. And while you don't need to remember every single thing we've shared, what matters most is what you do next. So here's a gentle challenge. No checklist, no pressure, just a real invitation. Within the next 24 hours, surprise yourself. Take one aligned action that reflects the version of you who is already living that future you dream about. It might be speaking a word you've been afraid to say. It might be taking a small risk. It might be a quiet internal change nobody else sees. It doesn't have to be bold or dramatic. It just needs to be true and real. And as you do it, know this in your bones. You're no longer waiting for the shift to happen someday. You are embodying it right now. Share this video with someone you know who needs to hear this message today. You might be a blessing in disguise for them. Remember, you're not just sharing content, you're spreading transformation and possibility. That positive energy will amplify and come back to you. If this sparks something within you, if you felt even a flicker of recognition, consider subscribing. Not as a passive follower, but as an active member of a field where awakening is the foundation and raising our vibration is a collective practice we do together. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for choosing to expand into more of who you already are. Keep leaning forward into the unknown. Keep choosing presence over autopilot. Keep being the surprise your future has been waiting for. Because every time you do, the quantum field listens closely and it responds.